Also, more so meaning IGF-1 is not not a problem. Yeah, exactly. It's not, but would be necessary for a certain extent for youthfulness. Yeah, it is. If you've got very low IGF-1, you're going to die very early. It's really the over amplification of IGF-1 and insulin IGF-1 in early organisms. We're talking about millions of years ago. There was no insulin. There was no IGF-1. They were the same. Pretty much the body produced insulin IGF-1 as one molecule type thing. Then, over evolutionary history, there was that separation. Why? Don't ask me. We don't know. There's a lot of speculation, but I'm not going to speculate at this point. I'm still investigating it, and I haven't made up my mind yet on it, the reasons for that separation. But they go in lockstep. So higher insulin will drag up higher IGF-1. Lower insulin, lower IGF-1. They go in lockstep. And insulin and IGF-1 do drive mTOR activation. So the level of activation of mTOR is also dependent on the level of activation of insulin and IGF-1. So if you're not engaging the Randall cycle, you're not eating contraindicated foods, you're not going to overexpress insulin. The thing that I've talked about, the insulin to glucagon ratio, when you're on a a carnivore diet, your insulin to glucagon, that means how high your insulin as a ratio to glucagon is 1.3 to 1, which means it's really pretty low. Just eating a potato diet, the potato diet, which is you can lose weight on it and all that on the potato diet. It's a 4 to 1, slightly higher. So if you're eating a McDonald's, fructose and cordials and every other crap under the sun, you can have an insulin to glucagon ratio of 70 to 1. Did you hear that? 70 to 1. Massive orders of difference. That will drag up IGF-1 to very high levels, and it will drag up mTOR as well to very high levels. So is it the meat that's causing the elevated IGF-1 and mTOR? No. It's basically the mixed diet of crap that's actually causing that. And it's a sad diet is that they basically compare in all these studies, the general population that's on a crap diet most of the time. So obviously, and then they make associations and say, oh, it's the meat. Really? Just because of amino acids? But, these things can also be activated by carbohydrates as well. So in combination, so if you eat just carbs on their own, as I said, the insulin to glucagon ratio would be 4 to 1. So it'd be lower. That's a vegan diet with a low-fat vegan diet. Very catabolic, but that's what it is. On the other side, you've got the carnivore, keto, whatever, which is a 1.3 or slightly lower or slightly above that, but it's still in those low levels where you're not overexpressing insulin, IGF-1, or mTOR. And so, but if you're on a mixed diet of processed crap, you will definitely be overexpressing those things. And that's really where the problem lies. If you're fasting continuously, chronically, those things will be in the toilet and your tissue will fall to bits. So both are not indicated. So really what is indicated? Where insulin is just slightly higher than glucagon, and it's at those more proper physiological levels above fasting levels, but not, at those extreme levels either. So that's really what's indicated. And that, a low-grade ketosis as well, like we see in the Messiah, which Mary did a whole lot of pricks on their blood to see what their levels were. And they were around about 1 millimolar on average throughout the day and over many days. So they didn't really vary much. Why would they, since they're reading the same stuff all the time? So, that's really the stuff. So yeah,